Hey guys, today I will be talking about the new 2021 reboot of Thomas and Friends. As I said in my last video, Thomas and Friends went on hiatus after Series 24 and Mattel were reluctant to continue it into Series 25, which is something most fans were quite relieved about as the show had got into a very bad place and, bar the Michael White episodes, wasn't even close to the same show all us fans fell in love with. When I first heard another reboot was coming to Thomas and Friends, my first thought was that this might be a sort of reverse reboot, and they go back to the actually good content they were making during series 17 to 21, before the Big World Big Adventures reboot. However, this was more hope than expectation. Mattel have said, 2021 will also be a big year for Thomas and Friends, as we unveil a new look and feel. We are introducing a new storytelling approach that contemporizes the iconic franchise for today's audience, while maintaining the core brand's DNA and focus on friendship. In the new format, each story will be centered around Thomas exploring conflicts that will be emotionally relatable to our preschool target audience. The theme of the stories and the playfulness of the characters will also be reflected in the original songs that will be incorporated throughout the season. My first thought about this was, since when has Thomas been focused on friendship? The moral of most classic era stories were, don't be jerks. But my next thought was how this was going to be, if possible, even worse than either the Miller era or Big World of Big Adventures had to offer. My first issue is Thomas being the main character of every episode. Thomas is the main character of the franchise, and I'm pretty sure that, even though he wasn't in the first book, every fan, even the most die-hard Audrey fans who hate on everything other than the original 26 books, have accepted that he's the main character of the show. But there is no way that most fans will accept him being the main character in every episode. There are still fans to get annoyed when he appears in every episode of the season, in a main character role or not. Even season 20, by far the best season of the show since season 5 or 6, annoyed some Thomas fans because Thomas appeared in every episode, and he didn't even speak in all of them. There are some episodes where he appears in one shot and doesn't speak, like this. This is his only appearance in the episode Over the Hill, and fans are getting annoyed at this. I personally have no problem with him appearing in every episode. I don't even have a problem with him speaking in every episode, but being the main character in every single episode is a really bad move. In Series 20, Thomas is only the lead in 3 episodes. In Series 18, again, he's only the lead in 3 episodes. In Season 19, he's only the lead in 5 episodes, and in Season 20, he leads in 1 solitary episode, and in Season 21, he leads in 2 episodes. In the Brenner era, one of the best eras of the show, he's only the main character in 14 out of 124 episodes. That's just over 10%. Making Thomas the main character in every episode means you either change his character or you lose many storytelling opportunities, which have already been limited as it is. My second issue is that every episode is going to be exploring conflicts that will be emotionally relatable to our preschool target audience. That is already limiting what stories you can use. Take the episode Rosie is Red from Series 22. As bad as that episode was, and by bad I mean awful, I highly doubt that the plot of that episode is emotionally relatable to preschool kids. And then you take a fantastic episode like Henry Gets the Express, and again, you can't say that that episode is emotionally relatable to preschool children. And my guess is they'll teach the kids these things by having Thomas go through the events. but that will just break his character completely. Anything he will experience in these episodes, I full well expect that he has already been through them in the first 5 seasons of the show, or at least had an experience in the show which proves that he has already gone through that experience. Thomas is over 100 years old at this point, and yet Mattel still wants to put him through issues that are emotionally relatable to a 3-year-old, forcing every episode to have a moral or a lesson for a 3-year-old that is just going to turn Thomas and Friends into boring baby TV show number 756. And before any of you say it already was and always has been, no it hasn't. Thomas has never been just a kids show. Yes, kids were always the main target audience, but you always had the older fans watching the show. Watch the entirety of Season 5, and then come back and tell me it's just a kids show, when there are episodes like Haunted Henry, Stepney Gets Lost, Duncan Gets Spooked, and Rusty and the Boulder. And Mattel, Andrew Brenner, Ian McHugh, and Michael White at least, all knew full well of the adult fans. Andrew Brenner and Michael White handled it in a good way that is respectful to the fans. Mattel and Ian McHugh did not. Andrew Brenner treated the characters well and continued to include nods to the fans, such as bringing back old characters such as Duck, Donald, Douglas, Oliver, Bulgy and Daisy, as well as giving us the small railway engines and giving Big Mickey a face. And Michael White was the only decent writer from the Big World Big Adventures era, and was the only writer to stay loyal to the source material, include Railway series references, and keep every character he uses in character. While I don't agree with everything they do...
Oliver, what are you doing on my track? Your track? Who says this is your track? There are 2 ways of doing things, Oliver. The Great Western Way and the wrong way. I know. And you're doing it the wrong way. Well, I never. Donald and Douglas. Haven't seen you 2 around in a while. We only went to collect some more rails and sleepers. Hey, so you can build some more track, that's all. Well, I don't know, but it feels like you've been gone for ages. Cheerio! Cheerio! Don't leave it so long next time.
Understand is why you, Thomas, were chosen and not me. I know the way to London after all, and have been there before, you know. Not the station names again, Gordon. I just wish they would make up their minds on what to call London Station.
As it's just pointless fan service that offers nothing to the plot. Most of what they do has been really great, and it does at least show that they care. Mattel and Ian McHugh, on the other hand, obviously do not care. Ian McHugh flat out lied to the fans, saying that Edward and Henry were still going to be part of the show when they were removed from the Steam team as part of the Bubba reboot, when they only appeared once or twice with no dialogue after season 22. And then he said he was grateful to the fans for making Thomas last 75 years, and then just went away and said we should go and watch something else. Mattel also clearly does not care. They forced this Bubba reboot on us, something they knew us fans would hate, and now are basically saying clear off by making this reboot. Thomas going through experiences emotionally relatable to preschool children suggests that Mattel are putting no effort into keeping the fans, and would probably be happier if we did just clear off and go and watch something else, like Ian McHugh said. If this was just a 2 to 5 minute clip released on the YouTube channel running in parallel to the main show, I wouldn't have an issue with it. If it was just a tag-on thing at the end of an episode, I wouldn't have a problem with it. The problem is that this is going to be the only new official Thomas content we get, so all us fans are going to be stuck with boring 3-year-old stuff. On top of that, the plots they're going to use are so obvious. It says there are going to be issues emotionally relatable to preschool children, so there's going to be an episode about sharing, an episode about apologising, an episode about including people, and an episode about doing stuff they don't want to do. What would you rather watch? An episode like Henry Gets the Express, which is amazing, or an episode where Thomas learns how to share? Would you rather watch an episode about Stephen and Glyn having a race where they're travelling like 2 miles an hour that causes chaos across the railway? Or an episode where Thomas learns to include Rosie in a game he's playing with Percy and Toby? Would you rather watch an episode where Thomas learns to do jobs he doesn't want to do, like pulling trucks, or an episode about Toad saving a runaway train? Would you rather watch an episode about Edward having a horrific accident that severely damages him and he still manages to get a packed train home in wet, windy conditions, or an episode where Thomas learns to apologise? Oh. With that being said, there is apparently a new Thomas film being made directed by Mark Foster, so I guess that sort of suggests Mattel is still thinking about the fans, but they definitely aren't interested in keeping the fans watching the main show. And this just seems to me that they're trying to give the impression that they still care about the fans, when they actually don't. But I don't get why they need these plots to appeal to young children, when they already had a show that was enjoyed by young kids and older fans. Just go back to what you were doing from season 17 to 21 and make it easy for kids to watch, because when the show was actually good, there was no easy way to watch it. I remain hopeful for the new film, but quite frankly, I don't trust them not to mess up the lore or the history or the characters. I expect it to be a good film, but not a good Thomas film, rather like Magic Railroad or Journey Beyond Sodor. In short, I just think this reboot is pointless, that will basically do the same, if not worse, than Big World Big Adventures, not drawing in any new fans like they intended to do, and at the same time losing old fans. I will always love Thomas, but I can't bear to see them mess up the show for a third time, and mess up Thomas's character like we all know they're going to do. Yes, he's the cheeky blue tank engine, but he's also kind and wise and helpful, and they're just going to put him through experiences that make no sense of his character. What I would say if someone from Mattel asked me what I would do with a TV series, I would just tell them to give up and end the show. Mattel just don't know what they're doing anymore, so I would just want them to give up with the show, and then a new company can maybe come along and start up the show again, made by actual fans of the franchise who would write good episodes, but at the very least, respect the characters and the fans as much as they deserve. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can follow my Instagram by clicking in the link in the description.